Now, does this mentorship only happen one way, from senior to junior? No, I'm afraid not. Due to the continuously changing technology, the youngsters are actually more aware of the current trends than the seniors. So, as a part of cultural change, we also get to see some companies follow reverse mentorship, right? You might have heard this word reverse mentorship. So, it goes both ways. So, as a project manager, you have to ensure that the identified mentors are able to allocate some time apart from their busy project work and other regular works for mentoring the mentees. So let's see what we are expected to do. We are expected to do in the task. Mentor relevant stakeholders. We have to allocate time to mentoring. As I said, this is really important because mentoring doesn't come in our calendar, guys. Right? So it has to be separately allocated, and it's important that the project manager identifies both the parties who is going to give the knowledge to whom. And then, yeah, as I said, we have to recognize and act on the mentoring opportunities. We have to identify that, okay, at this location, the junior engineer or the senior engineer needs something important, needs the mentorship. So, to answer the tasks better, you have to focus on these points here in the learn column. And then you can also see some examples that might come as questions in your PMP exam. Moving on, the last task of domain one people, promoting emotional intelligence. This, in my opinion, is a soft skill that is needed by the project manager. So every stakeholder comes from a distinct and a different personal background, right? So they have different personal background, they have different cultural background. In fact, today the earth is it's going at a really faster pace to become a global village. A few decades down the line, with so much of migration happening in and around the growing metropolitan cities, every city, every organization is going to have people with multiple cultures and backgrounds. So even the virtual teams, as you can see, many companies are multinational now. So it's even today, you don't have to wait for many decades. Even today, it's quite rare to find a team where everyone in the team are coming from the same city or from the same geographical territory. So with such diverse, rich cultures and rich teams, there is definitely going to be a difference in the emotional intelligence. So one person might react very quickly to a joke and someone else from the same team might take it very lightly. So there are going to be a lot of misunderstandings, even when the original intentions are not to hurt anyone. So if someone is emotionally hurt or somebody feels not connected with the team, the project work is not going to move on a collaborative way. So there will always be a barrier on communication between the two parties who are not emotionally connected. So there could be some really angry people in the team also. There is somebody who keeps on shouting at others for no reason, right? So you have to deal with such parties also. In this case, the one who shouts and the one who is getting shouted at. Now imagine somebody shouting at the project manager himself. So you have to be emotionally intelligent yourself also to handle the argument smoothly. So both things are important. You have to be emotionally intelligent yourself, and also you have to promote being emotionally intelligent for your stakeholders as well. So what is expected from us in the exam point of view? You can see here, we have to assess the behavior through the use of personality indicators. We'll learn about these personality indicators in the lessons to come. And then we have to analyze the personality indicators and adjust to the emotional needs of the key project stakeholders. So to answer the questions better, we have to learn about emotional intelligent attitude. We have to assess the feedback from the stakeholders' behavior. All these things I have formulated. Please take a look. Moving on. Until now, in domain one, we have spoken about people, everything that is related to the people activities. In domain two, the tasks will be more focused on the process. So now the focus will shift from people activities to process activities. Let's see how it goes. So domain two, task one, execute project with the urgency required to deliver business value. So here we have to focus on the project execution. As we all know, execution comes after the planning. So while the project is being executed, there are many ways in which deliverables can be given to the customers. So they could be given in bits and pieces, or they can be given as a single final product, right? Sometimes they can be given as updates. So imagine you are a mobile phone manufacturer. You update the phone with a particular version of a software and then deliver it to the customer. So a few months later, you work on an update like 2.0 and then send the new version of the software to the customer for the update again. So the actual phone that you sold, it's still the same, but the value of the product is increased after the software update. So this example is not possible in every case. So imagine a car manufacturer asking the customer to just take the wheels first and then we'll send the parts later, right? So it doesn't work that way. So again, all these examples that I'm giving are quite exaggerated. You can actually use these strategies within the project. So what happens in the agile kind of working is that the stakeholders come up with a set of tasks they need to perform before the set target date, and these target dates are again in recurrence. Every 2 weeks a sprint will end, or every 3 weeks a sprint will end. So it is in such recurrence. When I say sprint, that is a set target date for a set of tasks, and there will be a scrum master who will be assessing the workload within the team, and then he will assign only those portion of tasks which are possible to be delivered within that 2 week sprint or 3 week sprint. So if we speak about manage project terms, this is something that is expected of us, right? So here the PMI is trying to introduce something agile. So earlier, this retrospection was not the part of project management. Now with the evolving trends, the PMI has included this agile methodology. Delivering only those set of tasks in order to ensure that the pace is going, the project is moving ahead. To ensure this agile methods come really handy. It is quite predictable. So let's take a look at what needs to be done in this task. We have to assess the opportunities to deliver value incrementally. We have to examine the business value throughout the project. We have to support the team to subdivide the projects, right, in smaller tasks as necessary to find the minimum viable product. In order to pass the exam in this task, we have to learn the ways to assess the deliverables, to assess the business value, and the ways to divide the tasks in increments. And here are also a few example questions that you might get in this domain. These examples are quite fictional, so don't expect the same or exact questions here. These are only to set your expectations.